So anyway, me and my spouse, we broke up for good. And I'm gonna tell you one of the reasons why. I still didn't put no more on it, huh? Okay. We're not gonna go into the more personable stuff because that's over, said and done with. Thing of the past. But one of our conversations we had a couple weeks ago, he had the audacity to send me a video. And you know what this video included? Some video about Jim Jones talking about how he is more relevant than Nasir Jones. What? What? No, stop. So anyway, and I understand what he mean about relevancy because Jim Jones, he's been doing the reality show thing for like what 3-4 years or now. I don't know how many years, but he's been doing the reality show thing. And when you do reality show thing, you're more of a household name because of it, because it's drama, it's soap opera ish. You know what I'm saying? So I guess in his mind, it kind of went to his head or whatever. I don't really know. I don't speak for people. But the fact that he really thinks that he's more relevant than Nas is like unheard of. Even though there's some videos going around where he's now saying, "Oh, I was just trolling him. I'm playing. Yo, chill." I don't really care if it's real or not because I already know hands down that Nas has put in his work since a young bull, and he's still, you know what I mean. It's reminding me of like when Cassidy tried to go after LL. It is like, what were you thinking? I mean, no. Don't get me wrong. You know you good and stuff, but come on now. You people who are iconic because they have earned it prior to you becoming who you are. You can't just jump in the game and then be on some I'm better than you and I'm gonna take your spot like that. That don't look right. It don't look right. It makes you look like a clout chaser, and it makes you look really dramatic, and it makes you look desperate for, celebrityism. It looked like you. Anyway, me and him, and he calls it TFV. I don't know what that stands for, but he's in the industry, which is what he told me, recently that, he was supposed to be getting signed to Universal back in 2019 or something. Anyway, I'm neither here nor there. That's none of my business. Whether he did sign, didn't sign, post to sign, or whatever, that's his business. But he had told me that the other day, and he's like telling me about how he's real popular. He got like over 20K followers on Instagram or something, and he had a radio show, and he's like, yeah, the DJ that I did hosted my radio show with, she on tour with Beyonce Renaissance tour, and we still cool. And I'm like, okay, cool, good for you. I don't be hating on nobody's successes, but I'm just like, he sent me this video, and then we got into a conversation about it, because I'm just like, no, stop it. And you know what he gonna say? Aside from him saying we all love Drake, I'm like, speak for yourself. Don't put no words in my mouth, because I'm not a fan of Drake music. And you know what I mean, when he very first came out, it was alright. When he started all of this, now she wrote a photo, they started sexy. Way too sexy. No, stop. He was all right when he was staying in his lane. When he started switching lanes, he lost me, bro. Anyway, then he talking about some, but I ain't gonna lie, Nas had some nice hit song, but he lost me when he did I Can. What the F was that? I said, wow, you are a rapper trying to get into the music industry and you don't understand the power behind the song I Can by Nas? Is that play one mic, because some people just don't get it. So I was just like, whoa. I was just like, and then he tried to go, we can have differences. And I'm just like, no, that's not a difference, babe. That's a catastrophe. The fact that you're telling me that you going into the music industry and your perception on Nas's song I Can is what was he doing when he dropped that? What was he thinking? And in a negative way, like, what is that? And I'm like, he was reflecting and instilling values into the minds of not just everyday people, but the youths in his life and the youths all around the world who just needed just a little bit of a push. Knowledge of who they are, knowledge of where they can go in this thing called life. I don't know what kind of upbringing you had and how you trying to say you from the hood and you don't understand the power behind I Can. That threw me. I was just like, I'm done. This relationship is definitely over. There is no coming back. There is no coming back. I was like, you didn't cross the line. Once you crossed that line, it was over. And so I was seriously, I was like, I'm like, no. And so the relevancy thing, we weren't really talking too much about that. But when that particular statement came out about what was Nas thinking, he was like, he had some hits. I'm like, he has some hits. I'm like, that man has hit albums. That man has hit albums. That man has sold out tours, sold out shows. That man can get on stage right now and rock the mic like he was back in his starting days, and he still will move crowds. And I'm like, you can't come in the game and not give proper respect to the people that really, really, help cultivate it. And and I'm gonna be honest with you, and I say this to everybody. Most artists, whether they're actors or actresses, rappers or singers or dancers, to me, most people really can't be compared to one another, because to me, everyone has their own unique talent. Now, if you're just a moniker and you're just somebody that's just copying what everyone's doing, then maybe you can go around comparing yourself to everyone else because you have no originality. You have nothing authentic to stand on. But someone like Nasir Jones, he is authentic. There is no other rappers in the game, no other entertainers or lyricists in the game with the type of music that he has. Everyone that he makes music with, when he does make music with them, they have a whole different style and sound to them. You know what I mean? So, and Jim Jones, I'm like, Jimmy, stop it. Stop it. Because the majority of your fan base are blood gangbangers. And that's just the honest to God truth. You know that. And they have a different mentality than, say, the fans who listen to Nas. And I'm not saying that blood gangbangers don't listen to Nas, because I know a whole bunch of them that do. But I also know a whole bunch of Crips and Nietas and MS-13s and Latin Kings and and people that's in the mafia and the mob. People that work in corporate and people that work everyday jobs and have everyday lives. There's people all over the world. So I wouldn't sit back and be like, more relevancy. That relevancy stuff, that's not even what this video is about. This video is about, I couldn't believe that he said that in particular. Like, what was he thinking and what was he doing? Because I had sent the video of Omi, the song that Nas has featuring Genuine, and where you see Destiny's Child, Beyonce, and them cameoing in it back when they very first came out. And I was just showing him the video, but I didn't say nothing. I sent him the video and he's like, what is this? What is this? That's your vibe? And I'm like, I was just, you didn't even look and see what the video was about. You just assume that I was trying to send you some type of encrypted message. And then he sent his message back to me was, the Jim Jones is more relevant than Nas video trending thing that was going around. And I was just like, what? I'm gonna be honest with y'all. We got a lot of entertainers who are getting in the game now. They don't understand the game. They don't understand. I'm not talking about the artist, the game. I'm talking about the hip hop era. They don't understand true hip hop because they think getting in a video and showing off guns and talking about, I got this much money stacked to the air and I got guns and I'm gonna do this to you if you say this to me. They think that is relevancy. And I'm just like, anybody could do that, whether they about that life or not. Anybody could run around talking like that and behaving like that. To be honest, anybody could do that. That's hip hop is it's a whole nother hip hop is a whole nother thing. It's a whole nother category. So for the people who don't understand what Nas I Can, the song I Can is about, listen to it. Go find it online or download it or stream it or ask somebody who is knowledgeable about Nas, and they will let you know. Don't let me, because I ain't gonna lie, I'm biased. I'm extremely biased. Wait, what did you say about Nas? What? So at the end of the day, I'm gonna just be honest with you. That really drew the line for me. I was just like, like that turned off every level of attraction that I had for my past spouse. It literally just, it killed any possible vibe we ever could have had, ever did have. It literally was like gone, and it just went straight downhill from then. It was just like, everything that came out of that man's mouth just did not sound intelligent to me. I was just like, I can't believe that his understanding of Nas I Can is, what was he thinking when he dropped that? What was that? What? And I also want to say this. Whenever artists, I would say, when they further manifest into who they are, because as artists, come out in their music, as far as, who they are and how they live, they begin to tell you how they're manifesting, how they are maturing. And one thing I always admire about Jay-Z, what up, Sean? What up? What up? Is that when he and Beyonce had Blue Ivy, I never forget this interview where he was just like, I'm never going to be calling women B's and H's, especially B's. He was like, I'm not calling them that no more. Like, and I'm going to be honest with you. He said not in his music. I don't know if he says it in real life, but I'm going to be honest with you. When he said that was so powerful to me. I was just like, you know what? That's when you understand, like, because lots of males would be derogatory towards females because they really don't have a precious female in their life who they value. And so all females are the same, or they just don't see females as valuable until one day God blesses you with a valuable female. Sometimes it's a man's mother or their sister or their aunt or their grandmother or their daughter or maybe just a female that they end up marrying and becomes their wife, that they come to realize, yo. And so to me, that's the equivalent of I can. It was like, yo, I could be out here teaching these kids, go around, shoot up the block, go around flipping bricks. He never knocked they hustle, but he said, but for me, I want to let y'all know that you can be anything in this world. And then he listed some powerful things that young people can be that they may not even knew. That's the equivalent. That's what I'm trying to talk about. When you're in the game and you're in this hip hop industry, you have power to do many things. It's up to you to utilize it to your best ability. Now, don't get me wrong. We like to have fun in hip hop. We want to dance. We want to hear, sometimes we want to hear that messy stuff because we think it's relieving stress. And we think, hey, finally somebody understands that I'm going through something too. But at the end of the day, you won't ever hear me knocking any artist or any artist's art for them empowering people and enlightening people. You won't ever hear me knock it. That's all part of the culture. You know what I'm saying? And it's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people don't want to hear it because they don't like using their brains. They want something that's easy. Running around and acting foolish is easy. They want what's easy. They don't want what actually takes strategy and girth. They don't want that. But guess what? You're going to get it. Because people that have strong minds are always going to stand out. They're always going to stand out. Even in a crowded room. Sorry, I was burping. Even in a crowded room, they're going to always stand out. But yeah, I remember when I lived in Trenton, Jay-Z was riding through in his black truck, the one he always talking about. He always talking about that ring. He always talking about that Rover. And he was riding it. And that's when he was growing his fro out, before he did his dreadlock, before he did his joints, long before he did his joints, before his children was born. And he was riding through the hood, through the boulevard, riding through. And his head, he was hanging out the side of the window. Not like crazy, but he had his head out, driving cock to the side. And I looked because, you know what I mean? I was just chilling in the hood, and I was talking with my peoples. And I looked, and I'm like, he was going, and I was going the other way. And I looked, and I did that. And he was like, what's up? I like when people are still grounded and they don't let stuff go to their head and they lose themselves. You know what I mean? Martin Luther King Boulevard. If you from Trenton and you know Boulevard, you don't gotta say where it's from. It's the Boulevard, the bully. So, anywho, I just wanted to say that it's beautiful that as human beings, we all have our different perceptions. We all have our different understandings. But in a relationship with me, I don't know how much I can agree to disagree, especially when it sounds unintelligent. I am attracted to intellect, and I am attracted to that kind of a person, people who are intelligent and intellectual. If in a relationship a person shows me some sign of stupor, then I'm just like, this is not gonna work. It's not gonna work, because if we end up having kids, no offense, my kids can't come out like stupid. They just can't. It's my genealogy. It's supposed to go on for years and years. So, not even trying to be disrespectful, but just, you know what I mean, you know, we used to play around a lot, but I know he wasn't playing when he said that. He was so serious and he was so steadfast in his belief that Nas hit a bad point by dropping I Can. And I was just like, no, 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 no. That was a power move and a much needed move. And there's many artists who they take a break from what they know you want to hear and they give you what you need to hear. You know what I'm saying? When Jay-Z and DJ Khaled and Future did I Got the Keys, even though Jay-Z's deliverance was very much his playful and, you know, swagger like deliverance, he was dropping knowledge in that. He was letting people know, like, hey, yo, on some real life stuff, I'm about to start rapping for y'all simply because y'all not on my level of intellect. I feel like I'm wasting my time talking to y'all when I could be baking bread doing other things. And proof is in the pudding. He about to drop a casino. I just read about that. Congratulations, Jay-Z. Congratulations, Nas. Is he about to drop Power Moves 2? They doing this casino thing. Yay! Trying to have the casino so we can all pop cribs like Pacino. Come through in that 06 Benzitos. But yeah, God bless all of y'all. There's no hard feelings. But I just can't do that. If you're a gentleman out there and you think that you're going to date me, you have to be intelligent. And even when we playing around, you got to be mindful not to play around and sound too, you know, too off with your thoughts, because I'm not a debater. I'm not somebody that's about to go back and forth with you. If you set in your thoughts, that's fine. But I'm set in my ways. I'm stubborn, and I'm going to be like, yeah, this isn't going to work, even if other aspects are working. And respectfully, we can't be. But yeah, the downfall of relationships sometimes come from the conversations alone. And I'm glad that conversation occurred. Y'all have a good one. Be safe. I gotta go wash this tea tree off. What do you all... Now, I don't need to know what y'all think, because like I said, did y'all hear... Shout out to Raekwon. Congratulations. The Emperor's New Clothing. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations on your new album. Did you hear the verse that Nas did in Raekwon's new song off the new album? If you haven't, I have, and it's powerful, and I like it, and it's relevant. If you're talking about, you know, when artists say relevant, they're talking about it's not the music that's trending. But if you ever listen to Nas's album, he's always had his own delectable style. He's like a gourmet rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like a gourmet rapper. You're not, his style's not gonna sound like this one and that one and that one and this one. It's just gonna sound like him. And he is known for his monotone, smooth talk. Like every you listen to his music, he pretty much uses a monotone kind of like. Very seldom does he go up or down octaves. You know what I mean? You don't hear him singing in songs. I never heard him singing in songs. Every rapper has their own, you know, entertainment atmosphere that they like to present. And I respect everybody's style. And I do like Jim Jones music. Ballin', Certified Gangster, you know what I'm saying? But I don't agree that Jim Jones is more relevant than Nas, and I stand on that. Like I said, I do like Jim Jones music, and I remember meeting Jim Jones in Trenton at the Sovereign Bank Arena when they was there. What up, Vita? I was talking with Vita, and he walked past, and Game walked past, the Game walked past, and then Jim Jones walked past, and he was busting a sag, and I was like, Jim Jones need to pull his pants up. And he pulled his pants up and he kept it moving when he was with his peoples and stuff, you know. So, and shout out to DJ Juke, my bestest friend. I was there with him. He was like, Shantae, you want to come with me? I'm working. He was working the arena event. It was some big industry event back in the day when I was right there living in Trenton all the time. And he invited me to go, and I was just like, yeah, I'll come with you. You know what I mean? Went, and I was just talking to people. Vita's from my home city. You know what I mean? We go back like crack. So when I seen her, I was like, looking at her like, okay, girl, I see you all cute and stuff. I was like, Vita. She was like, hey, we was just talking, chit-chatting, and you don't want to rub shoulders too long because you don't want people all in your business. But she went about her day. I went about mine. I had to go back on stage with Juice. And so I was up there with him while he worked. That's Juice like family, you know what I mean? It's family, king right there. And anyway, y'all, be safe. I just wanted to talk about that, and I hope that, take no offense to it or nothing. It's just a little funny thing to share. And like I said, a lot of rappers and stuff don't understand that when Jay-Z and Nas had their industry battle, that it was to send forth a message that you can have differences in the industry. You can be friends in the industry and have differences and go at it on wax. And at the end of the day, y'all don't got to go around shooting each other up and all of that nonsense just to get your point across or your message across. And that was their biggest and primary purpose of it, aside from, you know what I mean? But like I said, if you're going to get in the industry, please know your stuff. Don't be just running around and just only knowing these gossip tabloids that are going around, because you end up spreading the wrong information. And while you're spreading the wrong information, your malinformation, you're basically sabotaging your own career, because people are going to be like, thinking that you are telling them the truth, but coming to find out that you're just reading a tabloid that someone else wrote and then spreading it around without actually having, having paid attention the way that you're supposed to. So, yeah, it's just a lot. And I think it's dry. It's dry to my liking. This side got crunchy. It got crunchy. It got crunchy. I should have put more. I'm thinking to put more in it. Probably tomorrow I'm going to make put a lot on it. Like that. But, yeah. But shout out to everybody, and just be safe. Have fun, and spread love, not hate. Spread love, not hate. I'm just being silly now. Yeah. Well, yeah, by the way, check out my new book, Two Nuts and a Screw, on Amazon and Kindle. Make sure you check it out. Make sure you, if you have a Kindle, you can download it for free. All of my books are free. You can always download it for free. Or if you don't have a Kindle, if you don't have a Kindle, you can download the Kindle app, and you can also download my books for free. Or if you want to support, you can pay. I'm not going to tell you not to. Or if you're in the Amazon marketplace and you're looking for a good book and you don't know where to look, you can look up my book and you can purchase it and have it delivered to you. Or you can go to my home website, www.oewinc.com, oewinc.com, and you can order directly from me. And if you want, you can upgrade your order with an autograph. You can tell me what you want me to write on it. But don't write nothing frivolous, because I'm not going to write that. I'm just going to be like, no, I don't even talk like that. So anyway, be safe. God bless. No stress. The rest. I'm out.